Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Protected and Promoted, the Business Table. I'm your host, Juan Castaneda. This is the show where we sit down with business owners, entrepreneurs, and community leaders to hear the stories behind their success, the lessons they've learned, and the impact they're making right here in our community. Today's guest is someone who has helped connect businesses, foster relationships, and champion inclusive economic growth throughout San Antonio. As the executive director of the San Antonio LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce, Luis Vasquez has become a respected leader and advocate for our local business community. Luis, thank you so much for joining me at the table.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm honored.
So to start, I always like to do a little just kind of icebreaker. So in the morning, are you a coffee or tea person?
Coffee.
Coffee. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta say same. I need that caffeine to actually get the day started. Um, where did you grow up?
Yeah. So, first of all, again, thank you for having me. I think opportunities like this is so I never taken for granted, right? It's so such a great way to tell our stories, and I think we need to do more of that. So I'm grateful to be here. I was born in and raised in Piedras Negras, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And so my family moved to the US when I was 14 years old. And so, although now I would say that San Antonio's home, I've been here since 2005.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'm a San Antonian by heart. Yeah. And so my family used to, before, permanently moving to the US, we used to come like every summer to like visit with my great grandmother,
Yeah.
who lived on the west side of San Antonio. She was married to a World War II veteran, and so we used to come hang out with them and do all the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
And when I graduated high school and was looking for a place to come to college, San Antonio was like the place to come. Like there was no alternative. I wanted to come to something that was more familiar to me.
Yeah.
And where I have family.
Well, knowing that you had been kind of back and forth here in San Antonio, I come from like a small town myself. Did it have that all to you, like, oh, this is the city, or was it kind of just like, well, it's kind of like second home as it is?
Yeah, so I think it's every most immigrants, right? Um, for me, leaving what I knew that was home, right, and my family at the age of 14, and we went to a very small town in Northeast Texas, and so where I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me, right, and so it
Yeah.
wasn't familiar. And San Antonio was, the only city in the U.S. that I knew that I could call home because it was more familiar with, I had aunts and uncles, and and so. I don't know if it was it. It is now.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was just the familiarity, making sure like I wanted to come, somewhere where I felt, that I belong, right? And that was San Antonio for me.
I can definitely agree with that. Coming from the areas that I was from, it was a little more country, and so when I came here, I was like, wow, we are the majority, but we're still a wonderful mixing pot too. So I do love that as well. Now, what did you think you'd be doing professionally? Like growing up, what did you always want to be?
I wanted to be an attorney.
I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I don't know. That was growing up. That was something I was always very, involved and interested in, like politics.
Yeah.
Interested in, uh, just really how law work and justice, right? And so, I don't know. Might
Yeah.
still be a possibility there, but
Well, as a proud member of the LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce, I am thankfully here serving on the board with Luis, and I gotta say, you do have an attention to detail. So I think you would easily be able to make a great argument. So win your case.
yeah,
So what ultimately led you to become the executive director of the chamber?
yeah. So I think a lot of people know this, but for those on the audience that do not, I'm also an entrepreneur at heart. And I always tell this story because I think especially in the moment that we live in, right? I think it's important to highlight the contribution of the immigrant community, right? And
Yeah.
how we built this country and how we continue to bring value, right,
Yeah.
to the economy and the businesses that we build. So I was talking about how when I was in high school, um, I for a period of time I felt like I lost my voice, right, because I was shy because of my accent or things like
Yeah.
that, right. And so um, I found my voice through photography. And so I learned to tell stories through images. And so when I came to San Antonio, I quickly realized that that could potentially become a good, business for me. And
Yeah.
so I went on to um, build a successful photography business that focused
Hmm.
on underclass photography for schools. And so this before the pandemic, right? So I own a photography business for 12 years, and sometime in between, around 2013, 2014, San Antonio was going through the non-discrimination ordinance, updating the non-discrimination ordinance, and someone tapped onto my shoulder and said, like, hey, you know that as a business owner, you have a voice. Like, you should
Yeah.
be out there at City Hall and advocating for this ordinance to pass. And I was like, wait, what? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And so, of course, that was my first time getting involved into advocacy as a small business owner. Um, the chamber was one of the organizations that was affiliated with CASA, and advocating for this change to happen, for the this to be adopted. And
Yeah.
so that was my introduction to the chamber. I came to serve on the board after that. And after a short break, I saw on social media that they were hiring the first executive director in
Hmm.
2023. And at that time, because of the pandemic and everything that happened, I brought everything that I learned as a small business owner into the nonprofit sector. So I was working for a national nonprofit doing communications and
Yeah.
marketing, and I was like, I'm going to apply for this position.
Hmm.
Of course, the chamber has always had a very special place in my heart,
Right.
especially being locally. And I applied and
Hmm.
went through the entire process. So grateful to the board of directors at that time that were made this possible. And so now I
Yeah.
just celebrated 3 years. And long story,
Congratulations.
thank you. Long story to just kind of share how that journey kind of uh, just plans out, right?
Yeah.
Um, to get you to the places where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we definitely need you where you're at right now.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't say that enough. I mean, we just had a wonderful luncheon, you guys. We've had a lot of progress in terms of our memberships and our partnerships and how we show up in the community ourselves
Mhm.
as well has been wonderful. So I just want to commend you on that too. So
Well, and thank you as well, because the work that I do as the ED of the chamber, and everything that we do as an organization would not be possible with board members like yourself and members that are so active, right? Into ensuring that uh, we have a place at the table, right, in the
yeah,
rooms. I think that it is so important to know that when rooms or the table, right,
yeah,
the tables are more diverse, they're more powerful.
yeah. No, that's true, right? I mean, we got to get ourselves to the table to be part of these policy changes and decisions being made on our behalf.
Mhm.
And Um, who was or was there a mentor who influenced you on either side, whether during your photography entrepreneurship journey or the journey here to executive director?
Yes, I think that I go back into my journey as an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
I didn't. I cannot say that I just walked into doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was people that empowered me, that believe in me, that opened the doors for me, that really sponsor me into these tables, these rooms, right? And so
Right.
I always go back and think about my photojournalism teacher,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think we all have that teacher that believed in us,
Yeah.
and so Miss Ella Hamburger, we're still in touch, and And I'm so grateful to her. But along my journey, there has been many mentors that have
Mhm.
made sure that um, I had the resources that that they inspired, their leadership style and how they, showed up for me and how I showed up for them as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. You take a little bit from everybody, and
Yes.
that's wonderful.
And that's what I try to do now as well as a mentor to others
Yeah,
as well to make sure that we elevate, and we prepare um, the rooms right for people to be ready for us.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, looking back over your career, what's one leadership lesson that has stayed with you?
Hmm. Uh, the leadership is about service. I think that if we have that mentality that we are not here for the titles, we're not here for what we can get for ourselves. Of course, I always talk about at the end of the day, I have this amazing satisfaction, and I'm always very inspired by
Yeah,
everyone that I work with, right? And that's what I take,
yeah,
that pride in
yeah,
knowing that someone else, is it has this opportunity because of the work that we do at the chamber, right? But that's why I reflect that leadership is service, and I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to give back, to be able to um, contribute to others people's success.
that's great. I mean, it's kind of like people say, my love language is service, and I can get that. That there's a gift in being there in that pathway or to somebody else's journey. And now, for someone who's never been involved with the chamber, what would you want them to know?
Ooh, okay. So I think I like this question because you can see my body language too.
Um,
Um, San Antonio has over probably 10 chambers of commerce, or just in the greater, San Antonio area.
yeah,
And I think people have this misconception of chamber being the chambers, just being an opportunity to network, to create visibility for your business. And although that is true,
yeah,
um, I think it's also an opportunity for advocacy, right? I was reading recently that entrepreneurs and business owners are the most trusted institution in America.
oh,
And I mean, that's powerful
yeah,
to know that, we have the influence, right, to
yeah,
change our future, right, to change how our communities thrive, right?
yeah,
And so, and create meaningful and impact and positive change. And so, again, I think a lot of people think of like chamber just as in networking opportunities, but even other chamber like
yeah,
we go beyond that, right? It is creating opportunities for leadership. It is creating opportunities for education, for advocacy, right?
yeah,
For businesses to be certified and have a seat at the table in the bidding process and procurement process, right? And
right,
so,
right, yeah,
yeah. So even though networking is a big part of it. I
yeah,
think that there's that's it's very important.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, we even just recently, our most recent networking was beyond the business card
Hmm.
and really taking a different way on how we brand ourselves or how we look at our business or collaborating. And I think that's really great food for thought too. Is how do we use these resources to us, like the chamber, to improve our business and learn how to do things differently and improve our own business.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's actually kind of what we were. Many people think chambers of commerce are simply networking organizations. Is there something members are often surprised they receive after joining?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you bring that back up on the effect of networking, um, because when we look at when the chambers of commerce were first created, right?
Hmm.
They were created with the purpose of giving entrepreneurs, business owners, a seat at the table and representation in government.
Wow.
So policy, as we know, and we'd often talk about, businesses are private, right? but
Yeah.
there is so much policy that affects
Mm.
how we
Mm-hmm.
run businesses, where we can operate,
Yeah.
all of this, right? And I know that you often talk about the steps to building your business, and it is
Yeah.
all tied into government, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I think that's very important. And I would say that one of the things that that people get when they join the San Antonio LGBT Chamber of Commerce is the opportunity to build community. We often talk of the chamber doing work at the intersection of business and community.
Yeah.
And over the last 3 years, when we, survey our members, the number one reason why they join our chamber
Mm-hmm.
is because of the opportunity to be able to give back and to make an impact.
Right.
And so we have, nonprofit organizations that are members of the
Mm-hmm.
chamber, and solopreneurs and corporate, entities as well. And so we are creating this um, community ecosystem that is helping each other, right,
Yeah.
and feeding each other and making sure that small businesses are thriving, and that nonprofit organizations have what they need to continue to do the important work that they do in our communities. And so I would say relationships, right,
Yeah.
is the first thing that they find. Community, the authentic relationships to thrive, right.
Yeah, no, and I can definitely attest to that. I mean, I've made a lot of great relationships, and I think for people to want to do business together, it does have to be more than just transactional. It has to be
Hmm.
people that I can trust, and and I do feel like I get that with our chamber. I will say, definitely, we are more than just the networking side. We come through and we support each other. We show up to our members' events and venues and restaurants and things like that. From your perspective, what are the biggest opportunities and biggest challenges for small businesses in San Antonio today?
I think one of the opportunities that we currently have is, I mean, San Antonio is just, we just moved from seventh to sixth largest city,
Mm,
right? So
yeah,
the tremendous growth that we're experiencing right now,
yeah.
and that brings with, lots of diverse talent, right? One thing that I'm inspired daily is how entrepreneurs are so innovative into creating, businesses that one fill in the gaps, right? They see the gap and the need in the communities, and they say
Mm-hmm.
like, I can create something to fulfill this gap, right?
Yeah.
And also that for many is now a side gig or a side income, right?
Yeah.
Because it is the times that we're living in, right? And
Definitely.
so, but there's the purpose behind that, right? There's the initiative of creating generational wealth, for
Yeah.
their families, right? And I think that's so important. That's one of the opportunities that we have. I mean, GoDaddy, who is the website domain,
Mm-hmm.
seller and host, they just came out with a study for the most entrepreneurial cities in America, and San Antonio is the number one.
Wow.
And so, we have, I think, over 9,000 every year, small businesses that, are incorporated every year.
Yeah.
And that creates the challenge for all of us, right? Not only like government, not only like city entities and departments,
Yeah.
or other organizations, other chambers creating, this, that are working in advocacy of small businesses, but it does create the opportunity and the challenge for us to ensure that these businesses are not only surviving, but they are thriving, right? That they are going beyond. Because
Right.
the side part also, and I think we've seen it in the last, couple of months, that there's also some legacy businesses and some, newer businesses that are not making it, right. And we've seen those
Yeah.
announcements on social media that they're closing the doors, right. And that's
Right.
sad to see. There's that challenge, and there's an opportunity that we do need more investment in our businesses,
Yeah.
small businesses. We need more participation from and resources, right, when it comes to lending, when it comes to ensuring that businesses have opportunities at the table, right? That
Yeah.
is not only your uh, businesses that already have contracts, but we're giving those opportunities for different tier contractings, right, as well, to
Right.
ensure those businesses are thriving as well.
That's great. And I think that's kind of circles back to your saying us all kind of collectively having that seat at the table
Mm-hmm.
so we can support each other and be a part of those things that could potentially assist our businesses too. Um, and I did want to circle back because my mind finally came back onto the track that I was thinking earlier, and that was that, with the chamber, the great thing is while yes, we do have LGBTQ plus owned businesses, it's really a place for allyship as well. And I say that too with other chambers as well. It's funny because I'm on the Hispanic chamber as a member, and it's funny to hear people, but I'm not Hispanic. I'm like, that's fine, or I'm not gay, or I'm not any of the letters. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is fine. I was like, we need allies. We need people to do business
Yeah.
with, and at the end of the day, our money all spends the same. That's the one thing that's the universal language is currency.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, no, and I always talk about, especially on our line of work, right, and
yeah,
advocacy, when we look into the progress for equality um, in our community, right, to achieve full equality,
yeah.
uh, allies play a big part of that, right?
Hmm.
Because they're when we talk about there's a quote like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That to say that yes, we need allies, we need a community, we need a village of people to be able, even for
Yeah,
businesses to succeed, even in our personal life, right?
right. Yeah,
We just talked about my mentors and people that had a big impact in my journey, right? And
yeah,
it is so important to for us to have, like, friends, family, village, allies that are willing to support us in this journey.
yeah. I agree.
So yes, we welcome everyone.
There we go. So, looking back on your time as executive director, what accomplishments are you most proud of?
I'm so proud of the way that our businesses show up, right? Our business
Hmm.
members. I can testify that because of the involvement, um, San Antonio is a better place, right? There's more uh, businesses where people can just show up and feel that they belong, right?
Yeah,
And they just the way that they are so intentional about making this city a better place for everyone, right?
mm,
That's beautiful. If we want to look into really some of the impact that the chamber has made in the last 3 years, we have um, partnered with the National LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce and
yes,
Grubhub. And so over the last 3 years, we have distributed over $100,000 to
that's
LGBT owned
amazing.
and ally eateries, right? So
Yeah,
restaurants through the Grubhub Community Fund. We have quadruple our number of certified LGBT businesses, enterprises.
yeah,
And we recently launched this
uh-huh.
allyship training for to create more inclusive workplaces as well.
Oh, great.
And
Yeah,
so that's another one that is, we've had over 80 people that have gone through this program now.
yeah,
And then most recently we launched Quarter for All. Is an initiative to reimagine North Main. As we know, it's like the neighborhood, right?
right.
And so this is a place where it is part of the Pride Cultural Heritage District.
Yeah,
And the idea and our purpose for this initiative is to ensure that locals can come and work and live and play in the area, but
yeah,
also can attract tourism to San Antonio, right, in District 1.
right.
And because we know that that is also going to really impact the businesses that are stationed there.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. Um, so what excites you most about the future of San Antonio based, I'm sorry, San Antonio's business community?
I think that young entrepreneurs are redefining what leadership looks like
Mm,
through innovation, through different, uh, policy changes. I'm very inspired. I'm very excited to look what that's going to look like in the future. Right?
yeah,
We've seen that. We've seen the inclusive leadership in our city. Right? That it's at every level, every
yeah.
throughout the city, throughout the county, and the businesses and corporations. I think the representation matters, and I'm really
Hmm.
excited to of the work that leaders are doing to ensure that San Antonio continues to be a city that is welcoming. It continues to be a city that where people feel that they belong. Right, the
Yeah.
HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, has also a municipal index where they rate every city, major city. And there's only two cities in Texas that in 2025 got 100% on the score, and San Antonio is one of them. And so I'm really excited that we live. I'm really proud to live in a city that that is knows what inclusion means for everyone, all of our
Yeah.
residents.
Yeah. Well, if someone watching has been thinking about starting a business or joining the chamber, but they're still hesitant, what would you tell them?
The right time is now.
There.
Yeah, we want to make sure that you are part of this momentum and in creating change, creating generational change, right, for businesses.
Yeah.
We're in a very exciting time, and sometimes we always talk about being the perfect, waiting for the perfect moment, or
Mm-hmm.
or when we're ready, and there's really not um, always that perfect timing, right? So
Right.
I'll just say join us. We have a vibrant, growing community, right,
Yeah.
that will welcome you with open arms, and we will make sure that we are supporting each other through this journey, because a lot of people know, entrepreneurs know that sometimes this journey as an entrepreneur, business owner, can be lonely, right?
Yeah.
But we can go. Um, Business growth can be defined on know about who you know, because that's
Mm-hmm.
another myth, right? People was like,
Right.
oh, it's all about who you know, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's about um, how you show up for the community, how with
Right.
intention, how you build value for others, how you build trust,
Yeah.
and build those relationships. And I think we offer that for our members, the opportunity to grow through those relationships, through those the programming. Of course, we have advocacy, and yeah,
Yeah. So, in other words, now's the time to join and strike while the iron's hot.
you can go to our website today at salgbtqchamber.com to join.
Fantastic. And I love it too because we can also see all of the events coming up as
Yeah,
well. So I'm very excited about that. Definitely, I've attended quite a bit here in June. We had our Pride Week, and that was wonderful and fantastic job on that.
thank you.
So, if you could give every entrepreneur in San Antonio one piece of advice, what would it be?
Mm. Continue to show up for those that support you, right? That support your business.
Mm,
Consist, be consistent about how you show up, right,
yeah,
and building trust, uh, and then live by your values, like to be be you to yourself. I
yeah,
think that is one of the things that inspire people trust,
yeah,
knowing that you're authentic, and I want to do business with you, right?
yeah.
And so I want to support your vision, I want to support your growth, and so yes, continue to do um, to live your dream,
Hmm.
right,
Yeah.
and and be yourself.
I love that. It's almost like I feel like it's like be a business owner is business owner. You know the struggles, you know what it's like. Go out there and support. If you get a leg up or you get a great opportunity and you have the opportunity to uplift others, I think that's a great way to also kind of support that and supporting others. Um Now, before we wrap up, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show. Now, this is a new segment in a sense that I'm putting together. It's kind of the four legs of the table. Okay, so leg one
Okay.
of the four legs of the table is business myth. What's one business myth you'd like to bust?
Networking is collecting business cards.
Mm, I get you. Can you elaborate a little on that?
Yeah, I think networking is building authentic relationships
Yeah,
and like nurture them, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like we talked about trust earlier. Like if it's just, hey, remember I met you that one time?
yeah,
It's kind of like those people who are like, I'm your sister's best friend's cousin's neighbor's dog walker's sister's neighbor. It's like, okay, so how do I know you? So, but yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Um, Now, the second leg of the business table is the business spotlight. One of the goals of this podcast is, of course, to celebrate local businesses. What's one local business you'd like to give a shout out to today and why?
Juan, you're putting me on the spot right now.
Uh
We
huh.
had so many great members of the San Antonio LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, and I could not just pick one. Um, but yes, there's so many small businesses in San
Yeah,
Antonio and mid-sized enterprises that they need your support right now, right? They
yeah,
need us to show up for them and continue to support them. But I do want to commend you and Castaneda Integrated Services for all of the work that you continue to do. One thing that is very inspiring to me, and we're so grateful for your service on the board. But what really inspired me um, is all the work that you do in promoting and not only protecting but promoting small businesses, right, from all walks of life, and ensuring that they are visible, that you're telling their stories. And I think this, us having a conversation here is a big part of it, right? And
yeah.
storytelling is powerful. And so I love that you are very giving, and that that you're always sharing. I get I don't know how many invitations from you on Facebook all the time, every day, to go like this page, go like this new business,
Yeah,
right? And so you're doing a great job with that, and so we're so grateful for your leadership and for being part of the chamber.
I appreciate that.
So shout out goes to Castaneda Integrated Services, even though I said I was not going to
I love it. I love it.
to highlight any
Mhm.
businesses, because I didn't want to be in that spot.
Well, and I think in hindsight, you're also saying to go to the salgbtchamber.com so that you can see our directory
Yes,
of
yes.
members and you can go see great places to eat, great places to get your services, photography,
Yeah.
crafting. We have it all. So thank you again. I appreciate that. And but for Lake 3, um, we call this the weekly challenge. What's one weekly challenge you'd like to leave our audience with this week that could help them become a better business owner, professional, or leader?
I think we often talk about our role as leaders, or that we can mentor other people, right? But we
Hmm.
don't often talk about our role as sponsors, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I will challenge people is to be someone's sponsor this week, which means that reach out to a person that connect to businesses, connect to entrepreneurs, to each other, to resources.
Yeah.
It might be uh, that you know, if you match this, kind of like playing a matchmaker, right?
Yeah.
If you connect two people, there's this synergy that can be created there. So we often kind
Mm.
of leave that to the side. And I think so my challenge today will be, you know, uh, be intentional this week and connecting someone in your, network with another person that that they are
Mm.
will be creating something meaningful and something impactful for their business or for the community, right?
I love that. I love that key word there. Be intentional.
Hmm.
And well, that was two words, but Intentional is the key word I was saying. Um, okay, so then for our fourth leg would be advice to your younger self.
Mm.
Imagine you're sitting across the table from yourself 10 years ago. What's one piece of business or leadership advice you'd give your younger self?
Be your authentic self always. Um, and I say this because my parents always instilled in me to always, be true to myself
Yeah,
and never forget where you come from. As a young person who was, very introverted, I still am at times. Um, I never thought, what the American dream. I always thought like the American dream is my parents' dream,
yeah,
and it was not until later, in life that I realized like their dream for us was to, you know, live up to our, full potential, right?
yeah,
For their kids to, um, be more to, achieve their dreams, right? And so um, there were so many opportunities in life throughout my journey that I never expected to be part of, right? In 2017, I received the Young Entrepreneurship. No, sorry. In 2017, I received the Young Entrepreneur of the Year by the U.S. Small Business Administration.
yeah,
Later on, I was able to. I received a invitation from the Biden administration to be at the White House for one of the queer Hispanic queer advocacy days, and later the same year to be part of the Pride celebration at the White House,
mm,
and so many more opportunities that I never thought, I will be part of. Right.
mm-hmm.
Recently, I was named 40 under 40,
Yes,
and through the work of the chamber. And I don't say all of this just to, you know, make myself feel good or anything, but
yeah,
often we are, you know, I think it's a cultural thing where
yeah,
we don't talk about our achievements, right? We don't highlight all of
right,
these milestones because we're thought to be humble and we're thought to like,
mm-hmm.
but I think it's important for people watching who may have the same background as me. I'm a DACA recipient, right?
Yeah,
A dreamer. And so I think it's important to highlight that we can get to places and be in rooms
yeah,
and at tables, right, that we deserve. And I think that has only happened because I continue to be myself and authentic and remember where I'm come from. So I will say to young Luis, continue to be yourself and always remember, you
mm.
know, where you come from.
I love that. And I think that goes on to theme for our Pride Week, right? What was it? Power, progress, and possibilities.
Impossibilities, yeah.
And you live in your power and you're showing us progress. And more importantly, you're showing that next generation, the generation coming up after us, of what the possibilities are and that you can have a position of power, that you can be awarded, you can be recognized for your efforts. And I think that's a beautiful, I think it's hilarious when people say it's a beautiful 360. It's a
Yeah.
180, guys. You're just making a circle. Okay, anyway. So,
Well, and I will say it's a, often people do, think of leadership as a position of power, but
yeah.
to me, again, going back, it's a position where, you know, we have the honor, we have the ability to serve,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And
yeah,
um, that's the way I see leadership
yeah.
and power. Yeah,
And we see that in your efforts with the chamber.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Um, so when people look back at your journey and your impact on San Antonio's business community, what do you hope that they remember most? And I think you've touched on this throughout the episode. But what would you say to that question?
As I mentioned, one of my passions and one of things I take the most pride in is um, ensuring that people have the possibilities and they have the opportunities to thrive. And so if there is someone, throughout my journey that, feels that because of me, they felt seen, they felt, that they belong in a place, in a table, in a room,
Yeah.
that they had the opportunities to thrive, whether it was professionally or, personally, or, their business. I think that would be a legacy that I would be very happy with leaving
Yeah.
behind.
That's wonderful. And I think that goes into talking about legacy, and I think that will definitely be something people remember and were impacted by is your efforts. And so I do want to thank you, Luis, for joining me today. I appreciate you sharing your story, your leadership journey, and your passion for supporting businesses throughout our city. And thank you to everyone for watching and listening. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another entrepreneur or community leader. You'll find links to the San Antonio LGBTQ Plus Chamber of Commerce membership information and upcoming events in the description below. My name is Juan Castaneda, and until next time, keep promoting what you've built and promoting what makes you unique. We'll see you at the table.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having me. Appreciate you.
I want to thank Luis Vasquez for taking a seat at the business table and for sharing his story, his leadership journey, and the incredible work being done by the San Antonio LGBTQ Plus Chamber of Commerce. If today's conversation inspired you, I encourage you to learn more about the Chamber. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, or simply someone who believes in building a stronger business community, there are countless opportunities to connect, learn, and grow. You'll find links to the Chamber's website, membership information, upcoming events, and social media in the description below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with another business owner or aspiring entrepreneur. Every share helps us bring more inspiring stories to more people. Thank you for joining us at Protected and Promoted, the Business Table. My name is Juan Castaneda, your host. Until next time, keep protecting what you've built, promoting what makes you unique, and remember, every great conversation starts at the table.